and welcome to Into the Music on VH1. I'm Kim Wilde and I'm here to make sure that things go smoothly while Sam's shushing down the ski slopes. The lineup today looks something like this. Video artists include Gloria Gaynor, The Cause, John Lennon and Yoko Ono, Gabrielle, Joan Osborne, Yes, Brian Ferry, The Weather Girls, Nick Hayward, Lighthouse Family, Dave Clark 5, Madonna and Rod Stewart. Today's VH1 features will be focusing on Bruce Springsteen on tour, Suzi Quatro and the release of her new single, What Goes Around, and country artist Buffy Sainte-Marie. But first up on the agenda this afternoon is Meatloaf, Not a Dry Eye in the House. So that was the Sad Haircut Posse, Hall & Oates, Private Eyes. OK, it's birthday time. Raise your teacups. Born on this day in 1909 was Stephen Spender, the English poet and critic. And in 1913, Vincent Minnelli, the US film director. Today, Brian Moore, the footballer commentator, celebrates his 64th. And Stephanie Beacham celebrates her 47th year. Cindy Wilson from the B-52s is 39, and Barry McGuigan, the Irish-born boxer, arrived on this day in 1951. Right, back to the music. In a few minutes, you can catch up with the boss talking movies in the first of this afternoon's features. And that's up after this from the Stranglers, Always the Sun. That was the Dave Clark 5, Glad All Over. Welcome back to Into the Music on VH1 with me, Kim Wilde, filling in for Sam while she's on a holes. Yet to appear this afternoon are the following: The Cause, Cher, Richard Marx, Steve Winwood, Wham, Simply Red, Tina Turner, Rochford and the Lighthouse Family. Features still to come from Suzi Quatro and Buffy Sainte-Marie. Now, I can remember a time when I was on Top of the Pops performing Cambodia, and in the audience I could see Boy George. This was before he was famous, but I can remember that he really stood out. He was a star even in the crowd. And so here he is now with Culture Club and the War Song.
Let's play war. Let's get it.
And that was Rochford on toast with tomato sauce and Cuddly Toy. Now, if you're in this evening and want to know what to tune into, then take my advice and tune into VH1 at 8 p.m. That's your chance to catch all of the features that have been on the channel this week, so don't miss it. Tune in tonight at 8 p.m. Now, Nick Hayward's coming up next with an activity that I learnt myself last year in an empty car park. Yep, it's rollerblade. That was the latest from our Artist of the Month, Sting. Let Your Soul Be Your Pilot. It must have been back in 1978 that the Police played at the Strand. They did a brilliant set of Roxanne, and a year later my sister was born, and yes, she was named Roxanne. Okay, time for a bit of mindless trivia. On this day in 1912, the first parachute jump was made over Missouri, and in 1986, Swedish Prime Minister Olof Palme was shot dead as he walked home from a cinema in Stockholm. Coming up in approximately 10 minutes, your chance to see the Suzi Quatro feature about her new single, What Goes Around. But first, here's Tina Turner and Let's Stay Together. Let me say the same. You've just seen Brian Ferry, These Foolish Things. Welcome back to Into the Music on VH1 with me, Kim Wilde. Still to come this afternoon, videos from The Cause, John Lennon and Yoko Ono, Gabrielle, Steve Winwood, Wham, Whitney Houston and CeCe Winans and Yes. Plus, we've still got that country feature coming up from Buffy Sainte-Marie. So let's crack on with the latest from Simply Red, Never, Never Love. That was Wham, Wake Me Up Before You Go Go. Now for all you night owls out there, join Tommy Vance as the Night Fly tonight at 11 p.m. for 2 hours worth of his favourites. Hand-picked from the VH1 archives, that's the Night Fly tonight at 11 p.m. on VH1. Tune in. Joan Osborne's here now with One of Us. That was Cayoma Lambada that takes me back to New Year's Eve in Mexico, because that's exactly what I was doing. Well, there's roughly half an hour into the music to go, but stay tuned, there's still the Buffy Marie feature to come, and music from Gloria Gaynor, The Cause, John Lennon and Yoko Ono, Cher, and right now, Gabrielle's here with Give Me a Little More Time. That was The Cause, Runaway, and that's it for this afternoon. I'll be back at the same time of 3 p.m. tomorrow to bring you more videos and features. Stay tuned for Jules Carling and her happy hour, and I'll leave you now with Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive. Happy Leap Year Day and welcome to Into the Music on VH1. I'm Kim Wilde and I'm here once again to look after things while Sam's away. I have a host of video artists lined up for you today, including Fairground Attraction, Tears for Fears, The Monkees, Wet Wet Wet, Forest, Dire Straits, UB40, Alexander O'Neill and Sherelle, Bob Marley and the Wailers, Michael McDonald and Michael Jackson. Features today will be focusing on Suzi Quatro, Sting and Deep Purple, plus later on this afternoon I'll be giving you some tour dates for your diaries. But we're going to kick off the show today with George Michael and Jesus to a Child. That was Heaven in My Hands from Level 42. Now, with it being Leap Year Day, means that any birthday that falls on this day celebrates a bisextile birthday. So happy bisextile birthdays go to Michelle Morgan, who's 76, a French leading lady in the films of the 30s, Alan Loveday, who's 68, a violinist who made his debut at the age of 4, Mario Andretti, who's 56, motor racing driver, James Ogilvy, 32, son of Her Royal Highness Princess Alexandra, and the Honourable Angus Ogilvy. Okay, that's enough of the bisextile birthdays. Back to the music. Here's Stay Home from E.G. When you need... That was Boogie Wonderland from Earth, Wind and Fire. Welcome back to Into the Music on VH1 with me, Kim Wilde. Still to come this afternoon, videos from Cher, Free, Tear for Fears, Simply Red, Dire Straits, Duran Duran, Lighthouse Family, Elton John, Meat Loaf and Kirsty MacColl. Features still to come from Sting and Deep Purple, and the tour dates will be up later too. Up next, it's one of my favourite artists, Michael McDonald with Sweet Freedom. That was OMD and Forever Live and Die. Now, if you're staying in tonight, then I suggest that you tune in to The Bridge, presented by Pip Dan and Richard Jobson, including performances and interviews from the Mutton Birds, Courtney Pine, Mary Wilson and Dr. Robert. Richard will be reviewing new album releases and there's a chance to see the movie review, so tune in to Take It to the Bridge tonight at 11 p.m. Next up, there's Not a Dry Eye in the House from Meat Loaf. That was Elton John, Please. Now, with it being Leap Year Day, here's some Leap Day trivia. On this day in 1988, Lisa Dolucik of Swindon celebrated her first official birthday, having been born on Leap Year Day in 1984, while her mother celebrated her 8th birthday, having been born on Leap Year Day 1956. Now, the odds of such an event, a mother and daughter sharing a Leap Year Day birthday, are astronomical. Our Sting feature will be up soon, and we'll be taking a look at his new album, Mercury Falling. But first, Billy Joel's here with his Uptown Girl. Alexander O'Neill and Sherelle with Never Knew Love Like This. Welcome back. I'm Kim Wilde, and you're watching Into the Music on VH1. Still to come this afternoon, Fairground Attraction, Cher, Prince and the New Power Generation, Wet Wet Wet, Forest, Dire Straits and UB40. Deep Purple will also be hitting your screens with a feature on their new Perpendicular LP, and the tour dates will be coming up shortly, so stay plugged in. Our next video guests are the Lighthouse Family with their re-release of Lifted. That was Never, Never Love from Simply Red. OK, electronic organisers and pens and paper at the ready. Here come the tour dates. But first off, we've got Michael Bolton playing Wembley Arena, London on March 6th, 8th and 9th, Newcastle Arena on the 11th, NEC Birmingham on 13th and 14th, Manchester Arena on the 19th and SECC Glasgow on the 20th. We've got Lou Reed, he's going to be playing Shepherd's Bush Empire London on April 5, Manchester Apollo on April 6th, Wembley Arena London on the 8th and Birmingham Academy on the 11th. Then we've got Brian Adams, who'll be playing Ibrox Stadium Glasgow on July 20, Alfred McAlpine Stadium Huddersfield on July 23 and Wembley Stadium London 27th. Next it's Forest Rock the Boat. The brilliant Babyface for Whitney Houston and CeCe Winans, Count on Me, from the film Waiting to Exhale. The Deep Purple feature will be hitting your screens soon. We joined them during rehearsals for their UK tour, and they talked to us about their new album, Perpendicular. The Monkees are here now with Daydream Believer. Oh, I could. That was Cher, One by One. That's the end of the show for this afternoon, but I'll be back tomorrow at the same time as 3 p.m. Do join me then, and I'll leave you now with one of the most perfect songs, Fairground Attraction, Perfect. Have a great evening. Bye. Welcome to Into the Music on VH1. I'm Kim Wilde, looking after the show while Sam's away. Today's lineup looks something like this. Videos from the Mutton Birds, Human League, Madonna, Des'ree, Nick Hayward, Blondie, George Michael, Mike and the Mechanics, Haircut 100, The Mavericks, Gabrielle and Eric Clapton. Features today take a look at Sting, Deep Purple and Courtney Pine. So let's get the ball rolling with Cher, One by One. That was Paul Simon, Graceland, and I've been a great fan of his since way back. Born on this day in history are the following people. 1810, Frédéric Chopin, Polish composer and pianist. 1904, Glenn Miller. 1910, David Niven. 1927, Harry Belafonte, who's 69, a New York singer and actor. 1944, Roger Daltrey, who's 52, from The Who. 1944, Mike Darbo, 52, from Manfred Mann. 1945, Dirk Benedict, 51, best known for his role in the A-Team. Right, our Sting feature's up soon. We'll be chatting to Gordon about his new album, Mercury Falling, so stay tuned for that. But first, here's Gabrielle with Give Me a Little More Time. That was the Mavericks, Here Comes the Rain. Welcome back. I'm Kim Wilde, and you're watching Into the Music on VH1. And this afternoon, you can still expect to see Third World, Lighthouse Family, Chris Rea, Meatloaf, Julian Lennon, Gloria Estefan, Blondie, The Pretenders, Bobby McFerrin and Simply Red. You can also expect to see the Courtney Pine and Deep Purple features, so stay tuned in. Right here and right now, another all-time great. It's a fantastic day from Haircut 100. You've just seen Don't Worry, Be Happy from Bobby McFerrin, and that video featured Robin Williams, the star of the new film Jumanji. And if you want to know what you can see on VH1 tonight, then listen up and tune into Around and Around at 11 p.m, presented by the so suave and sophisticated David Hepworth. He'll be bringing you some of his favourite videos with a theme. So for a fun evening in, tune into Around and Around tonight at 11 p.m. The next track's from Mike and the Mechanics, and it's called All I Need Is a Miracle. That was the Pretenders, Back on the Chain Gang. I have to say that during my college days, I really wanted to be Chrissie Hynde. She was my idol, and when I decided to dye my hair, I opted for blonde because I just couldn't live up to her black mane. Now, here's a bit of trivia that I prepared earlier. On this day in 1954, it was announced that television licences were to go up from £2 to £3. And in 1988, a 73-year-old pensioner who persuaded a court in Norfolk that he should only pay 5p for his licence after discovering a loophole in the system, he won his case against the National Television Licence Records Office. It was also on this day in 1989 that Nature magazine reported that scientists claimed to have solved one of the oldest mysteries in astronomy, the origin of the moon. They believe that a cosmic snooker game involving the Earth and a lump of debris the size of Mars gave birth to the moon. A chance for you to see the deep purple feature will be coming your way soon, but before that, here's George Michael with the beautiful track, Jesus to a Child. That was Soul Man from the main man, Lou Reed and Sam Moore. Welcome back to Into the Music on VH1 with me, Kim Wilde. Still to come up in the next hour are videos from Third World, the Mutton Birds, Human League, Lighthouse Family, Madonna, In Excess, Meatloaf, Julian Lennon, Gloria Estefan and Nick Hayward. And there'll be a chance for you to catch the Courtney Pine feature too. But before all of that, here's Sting with Let Your Soul Be Your Pilot. Let your soul. You've just seen Too Late for Goodbyes from Julian Lennon. Tonight at 10 p.m. on VH1, Bob Mills will be here to bring you the vinyl years. He'll be taking you back through the 60s, 70s and 80s, back to the days of vinyl. Join him tonight at 10 p.m. on VH1. But here on VH1 now is Meatloaf with Not a Dry Eye in the House. That was On the Beach from Chris Rea. There's just over half an hour to go for Into the Music today, but still to come, music from Third World, the Mutton Birds, Human League and the Lighthouse Family. Now in just a few minutes, the Courtney Pine feature will be on. It's your chance to get the lowdown on his new album, Modern Day Jazz Stories. And that's up after this from the fabulous Madonna, Oh Father. That was the Mutton Birds with Anchor Me, and we've reached the end of the show. Do join me on Monday at 3 p.m. for more from Into the Music. Have a great weekend, and I'll leave you now with Third World, Now That We've Found Love. Bye. Hello there, and welcome to Into the Music on VH1. I'm Kim Wilde, holding the fort while Sam Norman's away on her holes. And have I got a show for you? We've got a superb selection of videos from, amongst others, Simple Minds, Michael Jackson, Cher, Queen and David Bowie. We've also got features today on Van Morrison, Tina Turner and Saw Doctors. And if that's not enough, I'll also be dropping a few hints as to what to catch on VH1 later this evening. But for now, I think it's time to get the show on the road with a little help from Joan Osborne and One of Us.
Oh, vanity.
Simple Minds, who promised you a miracle, and although I wouldn't go quite that far, I can promise that we've got a feature coming up in about 10 minutes on Van Morrison. Well, it may seem like a pretty regular Monday to most of us, but for astronomer Patrick Moore and footballer turned manager Kenny Dalglish, it's a birthday celebration, so many happy returns to both of them. Up next, someone a few years younger who won't be blowing out any candles until May is Nick Hayward, and he's up now with one of the more dangerous Sunday afternoon pastimes, but I enjoy it. This is Rollerblade. The Gin Blossoms, and that was taken from their endearingly titled Congratulations, I'm Sorry album, and that's got to be one of the best titled albums ever. I'm Kim Wilde, and you're watching Into the Music on VH1. British historical events on this very day included the first electric trams coming into operation in Leytonstone, East London, back in 1882. Obviously a mode of transport that never really caught on in the UK, Blackpool aside. And for all those budding Beckers, back in 1968, tennis authorities voted to admit professional players to Wimbledon, previously only open to amateurs. But it's far too cold to be thinking of outdoor activity. My advice is to stay warm inside, preferably glued to VH1, and here's an added incentive. Spandau Ballet with Instinction. King in a Catholic style from the fab and groovy China Crisis, which leads me smoothly to our very own Nepal King, who will be running through the week's album chart at 8 p.m. this evening. So if you want to find out which albums are where in the chart, who's got that precious #1 spot, and catch some retro chart action too, then tune into the album chart show at 8 p.m. tonight. Onwards and upwards now, on into the music with the vocal antics of Whitney Houston and CeCe Winans. This is Count on Me from the brilliant album Waiting to Exhale. Well, that one brings back memories for me when I was on tour with the man himself, Michael Jackson, there with Billie Jean. Now, we've got a feature coming up in about 10 minutes on Tina Turner, but in the meantime, a lady who is currently back in the States making her film directorial debut alongside Demi Moore. Here's Cher and One by One. The OJ's there with Used to Be My Girl, and I used to enjoy listening to that one on the school bus. Welcome back. You're watching Into the Music on VH1. I'm Kim Wilde, and we're well over halfway through today's proceedings, with videos still to come from Meatloaf, Sting, Mike and the Mechanics, the Lighthouse Family, and the Cause. But for now, we go back to one of the funniest videos to have come out of the 80s. Hard to believe it's 12 years old. Here's Queen and I Want to Break Free. Goody Two-Shoes there from Adam Ant, and yes, I have to admit I was completely crazy about him. Now it seems a suitable time to suggest that you catch the Night Fly, also known as Tommy Vance, at 11 p.m. tonight, with his unmistakable musical mix, all the latest muso goss, all said with a voice that defies gravity. That's the Night Fly tonight at 11 p.m. Sting's up next, and fans note that he will be headlining at this year's Flower Festival in London's Finsbury Park on June 8th. His latest release is called Let Your Soul Be Your Pilot, and here it is. Pink Floyd, Learning to Fly, something I've been told that 2/3 of the band have already achieved. Well, we've got just over half an hour to go with more great videos and a feature in 10 minutes on Saw Doctors. Mike and the Mechanics, who are touring throughout this month and April, are up now with All I Need Is a Miracle. The Cause there with a very melodic Runaway. That's just about it for Into the Music today. I'll be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. for my last show before Sam gets back, and I have to tread the boards for the musical Tommy. And if you haven't got your tickets, hurry, hurry, hurry. And I'll love you and leave you now with one of my heroes, David Bowie. Have a great evening. Bye. Hello, and welcome to Into the Music on VH1 with me, Kim Wilde. We've got a show bursting at the seams this afternoon, and the video lineup looks something like this. Curiosity Killed the Cat, Fleetwood Mac, Roy Orbison, The Cranberries, Mental as Anything, Delamitri, The Stranglers, Club Nouveau, The Cause, ABBA, Tom Petty and Casey and the Sunshine Band. We've also got features on Celine Dion, Van Morrison and Tina Turner. And tour dates coming up later, but to kick the show off today, here's Paul Young, Now I Know What Made Otis Blue. That was the Stray Cat Strut from the Stray Cats, who've done some brilliant gigs in their time. Now, birthdays today include King Henry II of England, born in 1133, 1908 Rex Harrison, the actor, and in 1952 Elaine Page was born. Coming up shortly, your chance to see our first feature of this afternoon, focusing on Celine Dion. But first, here's Elton John, please. That was The Cause with Runaway. Welcome back, I'm Kim Wilde and you're watching Into the Music on VH1. Still to come, George Michael, Fleetwood Mac, Paul McCartney, Bruce Springsteen, Delamitri, Joan Osborne, The Stranglers, Simply Red and Sting. Tour dates will be coming up later. Features still pending are on Van Morrison and Tina Turner. But before any of that, here's Sil with Kiss from a Rose.
When you need a friend.
Now that's one of my favourite cover versions, Club Nouveau, Lean on Me. Now tonight's pick of the evening has to go to 10 of the Best, presented by my mate Gary Glitter. Gary will be picking his top 10 favourite videos and telling us why they're his favourites. That's 10 of the Best tonight at 9 p.m. Don't miss it. Next up on Into the Music, it's Simply Red, Never, Never Love. That was All I Need Is a Miracle from Mike and the Mechanics. Coming up in 5 minutes' time is the Van Morrison feature, but before that, here's Golden Brown from the Stranglers. That was Phil Collins and Marilyn Martin leading separate lives. That song was written by Steve Bishop, and I'm proud to say that I own the original version at home. Anyway, welcome back. I'm Kim Wilde and you're watching Into the Music on VH1. Still to come this afternoon, videos from George Michael, Alphaville, Roy Orbison, The Cranberries, Mental as Anything, and James Ingram and Michael McDonald. The tour dates will be coming soon, so make sure that you have your pens and paper at the ready for that. Next up, though, is Joan Osborne, One of Us. That was Dreams from The Cranberries. OK, electronic organisers, pens and paper at the ready. Here are the tour dates. And first off, we've got Michael Bolton playing Wembley Arena, London on March 6th, 8th and 9th, Newcastle Arena on the 11th, NEC Birmingham on 13th and 14th, Manchester Arena on the 19th and SECC Glasgow on the 20th. We've got Lou Reed, he's going to be playing Shepherd's Bush Empire London on April 5, Manchester Apollo on April 6th, Wembley Arena London on the 8th and Birmingham Academy on the 11th. Then we've got Brian Adams, who'll be playing Ibrox Stadium Glasgow on July 20, Alfred McAlpine Stadium Huddersfield on July 23 and Wembley Stadium London 27th. Bruce Springsteen's coming up now and he's on fire. That was You Got It from Roy Orbison. There's just over half an hour of this afternoon's show, but there's still plenty more still to come, including the feature on Tina Turner. So let's crack on with the stupendous Paul McCartney. We can work it out. That was Jesus to a Child from our Artist of the Month, George Michael. Well, that's it from me today. In fact, that's it from me. Sam will be back tomorrow, taking her rightful place on the sofa, and I must dash off to the theatre for the opening night of Tommy. And if you don't have tickets, get them soon. And I'll leave you now with my new track, This I Swear. Have a great evening. Bye.